Hello student, today I am going to teach you about the how we perform string matching using the Rabin-Karp algorithm. First of all, there are number of techniques that are used in string matching, and the one of Rabin-Karp algorithm is very important one. In Rabin-Karp algorithm, the topic that I'm going to discuss today are what is string matching problem and the definition of the Rabin-Karp algorithm and how the Rabin-Karp works. And I shall take an example of Rabin-Karp and I shall explain you. After that, I shall discuss the complexity, and after that, I shall discuss you the application of the Rabin-Karp algorithms. So I start with what is actually the string matching algorithms. As per definition, here we assume that the text in an array T1 to n of a length n, there is an array of length n, that the pattern is an array 1p of length n. There is a text string which is of length n, and there is a pattern string that is of length m, and the pattern string length should be less than that of the text string. That's the obvious thing, because the thing that you want to search inside a text, then definitely that text should be greater than the given pattern. And we also assume that the element of the p and the element of the t are the characters in a finite alphabet set, because we cannot compare different alphabet set together, so both of these two should be constructed using the same kinds of alphabet sets. Thus the alphabet set is represented by a symbol sigma. For example, if sigma is equal to a comma b, then we can generate any pattern, and there is a pattern p is equals to a b, and there is a text a b b. Like this we can create any type of string with any number of alphabets that are constructed using A and B only. They may not contain one alphabet also. So this is the very basic thing, that you want to find a string inside a given text. The pattern is the text string that you want to find in the given text. The idea of the string matching problem is that we want to find all the occurrence of the pattern P in the given text. Suppose you have not to only mention that the given pattern exists in the given text or not, but you also have to clearly specify that how many times that patterns occur in the given text. So you should analyze the full text length, not just you should give answer in terms of yes, no, but you should specifically mention that how many times the pattern is occurring and at which position also. We could use the brute force method for string matching, which utilizes iteration over t at each letter. We compare the sequence against p until all the letter match until the end of the alphabet is reached. Here I am talking about that the brute force attacks. Brute force attacks is the very you may say that the very basic kind methods in which you just move the pattern string over the given text one by one, and at every position you check out whether the complete match is occurring or not. If there is a complete match at some position, then there you declare the match, otherwise not. So this kind of technique where you shift the given pattern by one position is very simple, but the problem is with the given text is that this is very inefficient approach, because suppose the string pattern text string is small, then it's okay. But if the text string is of very high length, then in that situation it would be very time consuming to shift the given pattern one by one. So to for the improving the efficiency of the brute force attack, we have designed the Rabin-Karp algorithm. The Rabin-Karp algorithm is better than the brute force attack because it does not perform one by one matching, but certain different things. And in brute force attack, when we are matching a text string that is of length n and a pattern string that is of length m, and we are checking every possible combination. It means we are shifting one by one position, then the total number of combination would be n cross m, because we shall try for every possible situation. Roughly, we can say that this would be equals to O n cross m. Definitely, we shall not match when the text string left by a size of m minus 1, but roughly we can say that the worst case complexity of the brute force attack would be about O of n cross m, where n is the length of the text string and m is the length of the pattern string. So this is the complexity of the brute force attack, not the Rabin-Carr. Now I shall discuss you the definition of the Rabin-Carr algorithm. The Rabin-Carr algorithm uh, now I'm going to discuss you about the Rabin-Carr algorithm. This is the string matching algorithm, which compares a string's hash value rather than the string themselves. For efficiency, the hash value of the text position in the text is easily computed from the hash value of the current position. As I've told you, this is the advancement of the brute force technique. In this technique, we do not match the string one by one position, but in spite of that, we take a random number and we find out the hash value corresponding to the pattern, and similarly we find out the hash value for the text strings. For example, there is a number 525 that is a pattern that we want to find, and if the hash value is 5, then corresponding to the given pattern, the hash of the function would be 0, because 525 mod 5 would be equals to 0. Similarly, we shall find the hash value corresponding to the given text. By taking the hash value, if the hash of the two sequences is not same, then we can very easily say that the sequence would not be the same, because it is quite possible that the two different sequences would have the same hash value, but it is not possible that the the two same pattern sequence will have a different hash. So if we take the hash value of the pattern and then we take the hash value of the text, and if the two hash values are different from each other, then it is obvious that these two sequences are different from each other. So if the hash value are not same, then we shall not perform one by one matching, and we shall ignore that or bypass that sequence. We shall compare only if the corresponding hash value matches. If the hash value does not match, then we do not perform one-to-one matching. Right? Now, sorry. Now, how the Rabin-Carr works. Let characters in both array T and P be digits in the radix sigma notations. Suppose the text string and the pattern strings are both are made of inputs from 0 to 9. Let P be the value of characters in the T. and choose a prime number q such that fits within a computer word to speed computations and computes p mod q. Suppose you have a pattern p, then for that pattern you shall take the mod with respect to a number q. The number q would be taken so that it fits within the computer word speed computations, and then you shall find out the hash value of p mod q for that pattern. After that, you shall take the text sequence that is t s plus 1 up to s plus m mod q for s is equals to 0 up to n minus 1. Here s is the position from where you start matching. Here you shall keep on matching until the condition that n from s is equal to 0 to n minus m, because after that it's obvious the remaining part is smaller than the pattern, then definitely there the possibility of match is 0, because if the pattern is of length 4 and the text will remain of the size 3, then definitely there is no possibility of match. And so from the very left hand we shall start matching, and we shall start deriving the mod of q value for every combination, but the position at n minus m we shall stop the process. Okay. Next, the text test against the p only those sequences in t having the same mod q value. Now we have a series of the mod q values. Among these mod q values, we shall consider only those values of q which are the same as that we have got for p mod q. Only the positions where the text mod q is equals to pattern mod q will be considered for the possible match. This matching procedure that starts from ts plus 1 to ts plus m position for s is equals to 0 to n minus m can be incrementally computed by subtracting the high order digit shifting, adding the lower order bit, all in modulo q arithmetics. For shifting and taking the modulo, what we are doing, we are removing the higher order digits and we are adding the lower order bit. For example, if in the given sequence the text is, suppose the pattern is 26, right, and the given text is 3141592653 and the value of q is equals to 11. Then first we shall find out the pattern mod with respect to q is equals to 11. So we shall find the 26 mod 11, that is equals to 4. the the pattern mod q is equals to 4, and for the given text 3141592535, we shall derive the modulo starting from the very left side, and definitely it's obvious thing that the length we shall consider will be equals to the pattern length, and pattern length is equals to 2. So we shall check two element in each pass for possible match. In the first pass, 31 would be, we shall consider 31 and take the mod of 31 mod 11. That's equals to 9, and it is not equals to the p mod q value, that is 4. So we shall not perform one by one matching. After that, we shall consider the next number 14. Here pay attention that for shifting one position or scrolling by shifting by one position, we have removed the higher order bit, that was 3, and we have added the lower order bit 4. So we have removed 3 and we have added 4. So the next number is 14, and 14 mod 11 is equals to 3, and that's not equals to 4. Again not match, so 1 to 1 matching will not be done. Next number is 41, mod equals to 18, 8, and not equals to 4. So we shall shift to the next position. Next number is 15. 15 mod 11 is equals to 4, and after matching one by one value, the initial number was 26. But when we compared 15 and 26, this is not match. This situations where the mod value of the hash value with respect hash value of the pattern and the text is same, but on one matching they do not match with each other. This situation is called the spurious hit. Because 15 is and 15 and 26 digits are not the same. The next number is 59, and 59 mod 11 is equals to 4, and that's equals to the pattern hash, that's equals to 4. Again there is no one-to-one match, so this is also a situation of spurious hit. The next number is 92. Again here 92 mod 11 is equals to 4 and equals to pattern hash 4, that is equals to 4, and but there is no one-to-one match, so it is a spurious hit. The next number is 26. 26 mod 11 is equals to the same, that the hash of pattern, so both are equal and there is one-to-one match, so it is an exact match. So this would be the position of match at position number 6. We are start indexing the element from 0 to 6, so we shall declare that at position number 6 we have found the match. And keep in mind that we shall go through the full length of the text before ending the procedure, full length before, where s is equals to m minus n. The length of the pattern is equals to 2. So from the given text we shall stop from the position before a position where s is equals to m minus n. So that would be equals to m is equals to 11, and that is equal, so we shall stop at the position number 9. So for 65 mod 11, the hash value is equals to 10, and for the pattern the hash value is equals to 4. They are not equal, so we shall ignore that. And at the position, last position, 53 mod 11 is equals to 9, and that's not equals to 4. So we shall move forward, and 35 mod 11, and here it's equal to 2, not equals to 11. Here we have process the full length of the text, but we can stop at the at the second last position, because after that we have stopped at the second last position, that is the 3, and because after that the possibility of match is not possible. So in the Rabin-Carr, we have gone through the text, and we have found number of positions where the hash value were same, but the some position where the hash value are same, but there is no one-to-one match, are called the spurious hit. And the position where the hash values are same and corresponding elements are also same in one, then only that position for which the hash positions are same and there is one-to-one matching are declared as the hit position, and corresponding S position is marked as the match position. Now the complexity. The running time of the Rabin-Carr algorithm in the worst case is O of n minus m plus 1, because into m, because for the text we shall move to, there are total n minus m plus 1 position, and for m we can check for the every possible number. So the maximum worst case complexity of the Rabin-Carr algorithm is equals to O of n minus m. But it has a good average case running time, because generally we do not perform one-to-one matching at every position, but we perform one-to-one matching position only where the corresponding hash values are same. So average case running time is much better than the worst case. If the expected number of valid shift is small and the prime Q is chosen to be quite large, then the Rabin-Carr algorithm can be expected to run in the time O n plus m plus the time required to process the spurious hit. If there are certain valid position where hit, then on that positions, so the expected running time is O n plus m. In that situation, we need not to perform match at every position. Okay. Then now the application of the Rabin-Carr algorithm. Rabin-Carr algorithm is used in genetics. It is used for looking the similarity of the two or more proteins. For example, high sequence similarity usually implies significant structure of functional similarity. For example, in our genetics, there are number of genes which comes from the different person, but if we get the certain sequence in two genes, we can find out the relation between these two, and similarly we can identify the certain relation between the two persons and the proteins also. So that's all about the Rabin-Carr algorithm, and it is much better than the brute force attack, and its complexity is roughly O n minus m plus 1 into m, and it's very efficient one. So that's all about this. Thank you.